So there was a new Epstein, whatever the fuck you want to call him, file released recently. This one was probably the most compromising one yet for the powerful. So there was like a bunch of like new photos of like Bill Clinton and such hanging out with Mr. Epstein. There was like Mr. Noam Chomsky hanging out on the plane with Mr. Epstein. You know, the Lolita Express. What were you doing on the Lolita Express, Mr. Chomsky? What were you doing? Who knows what he was doing? Apparently they were at, if you look at this screen behind Mr. Jeffrey Epstein there, they were at 4,000 feet. So it's not like he was just on the plane, like to hang out on when it was on the ground. This was flying. Where were you flying with Jeffrey Epstein, known child sex trafficker, Mr. Chomsky? What were you doing? But aside from that, this was like the most compromising thing that came out of this is like really fucking compelling evidence that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein murdered a sex trafficking victim in Oklahoma around the year 2000. So what happened is a former limo driver for Donald Trump spoke to a woman connected to Trump who told the driver that she had been sexually assaulted by Trump and Epstein. Later, the driver heard that the woman had died in mysterious circumstances with her head blown off in Oklahoma, with officers on the scene stating that there was no way it was a suicide, and then the coroner later saying that it was a suicide, with the cover story being that she had committed suicide because she had gotten cocaine from a Mexican drug cartel. Doesn't really make much sense to me. Everyone gets their drugs from cartels in some way, shape, or form, don't they? But, you know, whatever. But this might be a nothing burger. Why am I saying that word? The fucking kids have fucked my brain. I'm using the children's lingo now. This might be a nothing burger, as the kids these days would say, but not me. I'd never talk like that. No, not me. I'm an old man. Un viejo choto. Okay? I would never say that. If there was not something further corroborating this, and there is, according to death notices from the 10th of January 2000, the date that was listed in that previous FBI complaint from that limo driver, a 19-year-old student died on January 10th, 2000, according to death notices in 2 newspapers. The death of Dusty Rhea Duke was ruled as suicide by a gunshot to the head. Her body was found near Kiefer, Oklahoma, which is precisely where the limo driver said this woman was killed. The woman who had told him that she had been sexually abused by Epstein and Trump and that she was thinking about going to the police. He filed this complaint like 15, 20 years ago, okay? The limousine driver had encouraged her to contact law enforcement, and she responded saying, "They will kill me." And when he tried to follow up with her, he found that she had died in apparent suicide. Now, that is a weird coincidence, right? Surely there's not more to this, but well, turns out a limo driver who claims to have driven Trump and his associates in the 1990s uploaded a video to YouTube alleging that Donald Trump had raped a young girl who told him that she was raped, and then she turned up dead after telling him that they would kill her if she ever tried to go to the police. This comes before any of the stuff that I just went over was public. He made a video about this before the Epstein files were released, like it was last year, I believe. So here's the video. Apparently the original version of it from 2024 was deleted, and the guy like basically says the same shit that was in the limo driver complaint that then just so happens to align very well with that 19-year-old woman who was found shot in the head.
John Trump.
John Trump. Is his name John?
The 45th president of the United States of America. Donald, I know for a fact that you know exactly who I am. Don't even try to play like you don't.
Get to the point.
You stalked me in May, I'm almost certain it was May of 1995, and you know you did. around the different services that were in the Dallas area and tell you that you found the one that I was a chauffeur for. Then you requested me specifically to come pick you up so that you could intimidate me.
I'm trying to find the part where he talks about the girl.
When I pulled that car over on the side of Highway 114, I had unlocked my briefcase and opened the top of it, where my pistol laid. You better listen real close to this, boy. I forgive you. Doesn't mean I'm not mad at you. The only reason that didn't happen on January 10th of 2000. For that...
Okay, yeah. That's the exact date, right? This video is from 2024, before the Epstein files were released. And January 10th, 2000, that's the exact fucking date that 19-year-old girl's body was found in the exact place that he said in the criminal complaint.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't be held accountable for that. And then for having my daughter, by choice, from the time she was 7 years old, having her murdered.
His daughter? I understand that.
On January 10th of 2000, 2 weeks after she called the police about you, finally worked up the courage to call the police about you. On Christmas Day, she called the Tulsa Police Department and reported you having raped her. You know everything I just said is absolutely true, Donald. You know it, because you did it. I know you did it. The girl's mother knows you did it. You bought her 5 houses so far that I know of as hush payments. You started paying hush payments to her.
He's got a fucking lollipop. I love him. So, I mean, that's weird, right? Like, he comes off as, like, kind of fucked in the head, though I'd probably be fucked in the head as well if I had actually gone through what he alleges that he's gone through. And then the things that he says are actually corroborated by death notices. The only thing that, as far as I can tell, we haven't actually corroborated that would add credibility to this story is like some sort of proof that he had actually worked for Trump as a limo driver and been, like, linked to Epstein and these people as a limo driver. But I'm inclined to believe it. Why fucking not? It's so obvious that Trump is way more involved in this than he would ever let on. I think Trump's the worst of all of them. It seems like Trump was very directly involved in the sex trafficking. And Clinton and these other people, you know, they certainly did sex crimes. But it seems like Trump was a key part of the entire operation. He was like partner in crime with Epstein rather than a client to him. So yeah, that's fucking weird. Obviously, it's not 100% confirmed, but it is suspect that there's this degree of corroboration to that complaint that was recently released in the most recent Epstein file release. And there's also the fact that they're so fucking incompetent, they didn't actually redact the files properly. They just, like, put black bars over them that you could still see the text if you highlighted it and copy pasted it into another document. Really great, right? Such an incredible level of incompetence. But yeah, so the whole supposed conspiracy theory of, like, the elite pedophiles who have, like, child sex trafficking rings and all this stuff turns out not that far from the truth, actually. It's just that the Pizzagate who loved Donald Trump and said he was gonna blow the lid off all this whole thing, you know, at the end of the day, it turns out that both sides were deeply involved in it rather than just the other side.